Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Gnarly. So today I am bringing you my BMT experience video. I am at Keesler Air Force Base right now in tech school for cyber systems operations, and this video is kind of hard to make. And I know I talked a lot about this like before I actually came through BMT and stuff like that, about like how oh, I'm gonna have all this information about BMT and stuff like that. And I always wondered like why other YouTubers and people would be so like discombobulated in a sense when they got back from BMT. And in reality, it's because there's so much that you do, so much content, everything is changing and everything is moving, and like you can't sit there and take notes about everything the whole time. Now I did gather a lot of information, so what I'm not saying that I don't like know what happened essentially, because we're gonna get there in the Q&A video, but this is gonna be a video of me just releasing like how I feel about it and like what I thought, stuff like that. So starting off, it wasn't what I expected. Now in my videos I did say like I don't know what to expect because I hadn't been through it, right? But it wasn't what I expected out of the things that I could put together, you know what I mean? Like I was in my last in videos talking about like my top 5 fears and stuff like that. I was talking about being scared to get yelled at. I was talking about stuff like being scared of PT and stuff like that. And in reality, the Air Force isn't like that at all. At least basic training isn't like that at all. The MTIs yell at you for probably about the first 2, maybe 3 weeks. And after that, they're critical. Like even from day one, they're critical. But the only reason they yell is just to plant that seed in you, saying like, look, I'm the boss now. Like it's more of like that. And they don't even really yell at you unless you do something wrong. So if you literally can blend in like I did, and you can just kind of be you and kind of chill, like you're gonna make it just fine. Like there's really nothing to worry about on that aspect of things, because they're not there to hurt you, so to speak. They're there to help you become the best airman that you can be, I guess. BMT is weird because it's almost like, I almost see it as like a challenge. It's not really like they're shaping you into an airman. I feel like a lot of people who come in, with morals and with that stuff already have that mindset, and they're just kind of trying to bring it out more and seeing like, okay, well, can you fit in with this lifestyle? Because being in the Air Force isn't really a job. It's definitely a lifestyle. Like they tell you that too. They're like, you're on duty like 24/7. I mean, obviously you have off duty and stuff, but like if they need you, like you're going. That's basically what it is. So, I guess I just was expecting them to yell way more about everything, and I mean they did. But at the same time, I underestimated the amount of time that I would be hiding from them, you know what I mean? So I definitely succeeded hiding, so to speak. It's weird because like you hear like, oh, you don't want to stand out, and that's really accurate. You really don't want to stand out. I saw actually somebody in our flag got recycled because they stood out the first week, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me talking about this if he does come across it, but he was on bed rest the first week because he came in really freaking sick, and he kind of fell behind, and so they kind of started like looking at him more than other people, and so when he would mess up, he would catch all the slack for it, and then it just kind of started this chain reaction where they would just always have their eye on him, and for every little tiny thing, like this dude was like catching so much flack, he ended up getting recycled over something that was kind of ridiculous, but it's just the way it is, because it's not about the individual aspect of you being in the Air Force, it's about all of you being in the Air Force together. And as much as it sucks to be on a team sometimes and work with people you don't want to work with, you have to do it. And it's like, it's kind of crazy because like I don't even know, I can't even count how many things kind of affected me in BMT, because BMT was really easy. In fact, now, this is just a fun fact, they are not allowed to yell at trainees for the first 72 hours that they're there. Now, I don't know how accurate this is in a sense of like, do they do it or not? But multiple MTIs told us this. Our MTIs told us this. We witnessed it with our own eyes with 0 weekers coming in. they're not allowed to yell at you for the first 72 hours. Like 0 week lunch, they were yelling, but it was way calmed down compared to the week before them, because like every week you see 0 weekers come in. You know, you'll be standing there like 5th week, getting back from B, 6th week, and you'll see freaking like, you know, new people, and it's like they all have their hair on their head and they have their shirts tucked into their jeans and they look super funny. But it's just crazy how that wasn't the mindset that I expected when I went, and in reality, like, that's what it is. Back in a couple years ago, they had like, you know, that huge sexual assault scandal where MTIs were just doing some kind of crazy stuff, and you know, physically they were also doing crazy stuff, like just doing things that they shouldn't have been doing. And so the Air Force just kind of redid everything, and they said, okay, if it doesn't have a training objective, we're not doing it, essentially. So like, if there isn't a training objective in why you're doing something, you know, whether you're making hospital corners on a bed, or whether you're, you know, doing details in the morning, at night. Details are like the jobs that you are assigned to. You know, those do have training objectives, because you're learning how to pay attention to detail, you're learning how to, you know, do everything with excellence or whatever, and you know, making people do, you know, crazy amounts of push-ups and PT, like, that's not necessarily a training objective, because PT is not everything in the Air Force. The Air Force is, you know, cyber operations like me, like, that doesn't really fit into my job, but like, that's the kind of direction that the Air Force is going with things compared to other branches and stuff. So like, yeah, in a sense, like, we are the chair force, and like, that's who we're meant to be, so to speak. So it's kind of a weird sort of mentality for it, and it's not what I expected, but I also don't hate it, if you know what I mean. So the hardest parts for me definitely was being away from my wife, and I'm actually saying that now. So we got married in July of last year, and I always would call her like my significant other in my videos, or my girlfriend and stuff like that, because we were trying to keep it low. We didn't really have like a huge reason to do that. We just kind of wanted, the first time that we kind of came out like, oh, like, we're gonna get married and stuff like that, we kind of wanted that to be like super like how society wants it to be, how they kind of want you to like, oh, get engaged and post it on Facebook, and then change your relationship status to married or engaged, you know. But we just did it a different way. We did it our own way, because like, we're adults and we can do whatever we want, you know. And it's just kind of that mentality of things. So, you know, we kind of I tried to keep it low, like we all kind of did, and eventually, you know, being in BMT, like, everyone knows you're married, everyone knows everything about you, because there's nothing that you can hide, because the MTI talks freely. You know, you have to get some processing stuff done, so you have to talk freely in front of everybody, and it just kind of gets out. And so like, I don't know how much time in my life I have. I don't know how much time, I'm not gonna hide anything, you know, because like, that's my wife, and I'm proud that she's my wife. Like, that makes me super happy. And the hardest part of BMT was definitely being away from her. 100%. Even now at tech school, the hardest part is, you know, emotionally, physically, mentally being away from her. You know, for all my single friends and stuff at BMT, they went through BMT like that, easy, nothing. If you have any sort of, if you're in shape, okay. If you're in shape, you can get through 2 months of just kind of going with the flow, and doing what you're told to do. You're gonna go through BMT no problem. BMT is easy. Let me tell you, BMT is a lot of class. It's not like you're fucking constantly running around with mock M16s and stuff. Like, it's not like that at all. You have them for EC shifts, that's basically it, and you bring them to Beast for a week. Hardest part about BMT was probably Beast, because it sucked. It had nothing to do with like the mentally challenging parts. Like, it just sucked. Like, it was like, you're freaking showering, you're in like, there's 9 tents in this one little zone, and you're with a bunch of people in mop gear, so you have like gas masks on, and it's freaking hot outside, and you're in like J suits, so you have like chemical resistant suits on, you have gloves on, and it's just really hot, and like, you can't really breathe that well in the gas mask or anything like that. And it's like, it's not really a big deal, but it just like sucks. Like, nobody wants to be in gas masks, like, so hopefully chemical attacks don't actually happen one day. But you just like, you're just kind of getting through that. And like, when you have to shower, everyone, like, the showers are outside, so you walk through like dirt to get there, and like, sometimes it gets really muddy, and there's just so many people trying to shower at once. So like, it was really hard to do that. And it wasn't even like it was hard, it was just the hardest thing that we went through. So PT also, it was harder than I expected because like I went in fully ready to go heads in, but we didn't actually start PT till like a week or so after we got there. So that kind of took a little negativity out of me, I guess, so to speak. Like I wasn't able to perform to the best that I could the first time we did PT because we didn't do it for so long. And, but besides that, like the hardest part about that was probably getting yelled at while you're running. But whatever, like you'll get through it. You run, so PT works. I'm probably gonna cover this in the video in the Q&A too. But PT works like this. So you have interval run days and muscular days. Now it's not set in stone that you're actually gonna get a run day or muscle day because, like for us, we skipped so many run days. We skipped so many run days, and our flight definitely took a lot of hits out of that. We probably could have got top PT maybe, but you know, a lot of people just didn't do the best that they could because we didn't have the most training that we could in that aspect of things. Now you basically run days, you run for 26 minutes. So you do warm-up stretches, run for 26 minutes, and then you do cool-down stretches, and that's it. For muscular days, you do warm-up stretches, and then you do like, I don't know, push-ups, sit-ups. You do a bunch of stuff like you do like leg lifts. You'll go like up, down, out, up, down, and then like that with your legs. And then you do like, they're like burpees, but they're not. They're called squat thrusts, where you like stand and you like jump down, plant your hands, put your feet back, and then you jump back up. You don't do a push-up or anything like that. Like it's super easy. And then we did like pyramid push-ups. So you do like, I don't know, 5 push-ups, and then you roll and you put your hands up and you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you roll, and then you do 6, and then once you get to like the max number, you start at 1 obviously, not 5, but like you go 1, and then you do 1 push-up, roll 1, roll back, do 2 push-ups, and then 2, you know, kind of like that, and it just goes all the way up, and then once you get to like 6, and you come back all the way down. Those are like that what you end with. You just do kind of stuff like that. Muscular days are my favorite because I'm not big on running, and like I could freaking do push-ups for days, I guess. Not like that, but like I just like doing muscle type stuff better than cardio. So but besides that, then you do cool down stretches, and then that's pretty much it. And then like so like the 2nd week, the 4th week, and then the 6th week was when we actually had our PT tests. That's easy too. There's no set in stone way of if you're gonna do your push-ups and sit-ups first before the run, or your run before the push-ups and sit-ups. So just train your body to the best of your ability, because you're out there usually with 4 flights, your whole stairwell, or at least so, because I was at 322nd Training Squadron, so we were Eagles, we were Alcatraz. There's the Knights, which is the 324th, and then 322nd, and then there's I don't know the rest of them, but those are all Disneyland, so there's like 6 total squadrons, I believe. In the Alcatraz squadrons, you have 4 flights to 1 stairwell. I don't know if that's like for everybody, but that's what we had at our squadron. So usually you do everything with your brother or sister flight, and then with the PT test and stuff, all 4 flights go out there, and then the first 2 run at the same time, while the other 2 do the push-ups and sit-ups. So whoever gets out there first is basically the one who runs first. Now, I'll make a PT video and stuff like that for sure, but like it's not really too hard or anything like that. It's really easy. And then the second hardest thing for me was definitely the mental part of just being away from Nikkor. Like that literally was probably the hardest thing, because like you get there and you're like, dang, like really, should I have joined the Air Force? Like, did I really do this? Like, is this something that I want to do for the rest of my life? Or not necessarily the rest of your life, but for your whole enlistment. And you're like, dang, like I really miss my wife. And like BMT honestly tries to scare the crap out of you. Like, they don't really tell you a lot about deploying and stuff until you get there. And then you get there and they don't really care what job you are. They kind of compile everything together and they're like, look, it's basic military training, so they're gonna show you the basics, which is like, okay, like you might deploy, and if you deploy, like you might die. You like learn how to like, you learn what IEDs look like, you learn all this crazy stuff, and it's just, they tell you like, oh well, if the Air Force wants you to deploy in the split second, like in the next day or the next week, like you're gonna do it, and like that's true, but like they tell you that like it's gonna happen all the time, but like in reality you talk to a bunch of people and you look at the statistics and stuff and it doesn't actually happen all the time. But like it's basic military training, so they kind of make it seem like this is what you need to be prepared for, and in reality you do need to be prepared for that. Like they teach you how to have a go bag and, you know, just all this crazy stuff. So And you know, that kind of scares the crap out of me, just for, you know, being away from my wife, but like, it's whatever, it's just something that you gotta do, but that's okay with me. So like, that was just kind of the hardest part, was being away from my wife. Now the experience in general, like just kind of keeping it really broad, it was easy. I know I've said that a lot, but like, I'm trying to get as much information into this as I can, just because I know that like a lot of you are gonna be wondering about a lot of stuff. The food is pretty bad because I'm really picky, but it's not like army bad, from what I hear. Like it's not bad. Like, there's a lot of options, tons of options. It's just like cafeteria, but it's not bad. I'm not gonna get into specifics, but it's not too bad. So anyways, this is just kind of like a whole bundle of like what BMT was for me. The experience overall was good. Would I do it again? Probably not, and the hardest part for me was visiting my wife. Everything else was super easy. So if you can sacrifice being away from your loved ones for a good 2 months and through tech school, then you should definitely be good to go if this is something that you really do want to do. But don't be fearing like BMT or anything like that, because it's not scary. Like, they're not gonna freaking kill you. Like, they can't even yell at you for the first 72 hours. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to put your ship dates down below, because even though I am through BMT, I still want to see your guys' ship dates, and I'm sure other people out there who are shipping want to see who they're shipping with, because I met so many of you guys, and I'll get into that in the Q&A too, but I did meet a lot of people that we shipped together, like they knew me from YouTube and stuff like that. So but anyways, again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and if you have any more questions about BMT and stuff, just feel free to leave them down below. So anyways, peace out.